Thank you for that. And I hear what you're saying in terms of the overarching state of calamity that our planet is in, and this ideal of elevating our consciousness to higher frequencies of spiritual evolution. But to kind of bring it back to Ben's question, in terms of being able to differentiate as to whether this could be an authentic spiritual message or experience versus that of a chemical byproduct of the brain. What is your process
ridiculous.
or methodology to determine the difference between
why would you even be asking me this question when you know we are having congressional hearings? Our government has told us everything. The information is there. If you have the intelligence enough, you can go and find out we are not alone in the universe. People like me are not making up these stories.
Well, we're not saying you're making it up, Nancy.
No, I'm telling you exactly what it is. I'm giving you the facts.
So let me ask you
the reality is I am at a higher frequency than you. I'm tuning into information you're not privy to. That does not mean that I'm wrong. It means that you have not reached that level of understanding, awareness. You have not worked on your inner soul self to get to that level to where I ask my subconscious to open up into my human consciousness and help me with these challenges that we face, to help me with questions like you're presenting now, because this is part of the package. When I signed up for it, I knew that I would walk into people that are like coming up with these ridiculous things that sound ridiculous to me. It doesn't sound ridiculous to you. It sounds ridiculous to me because I already know all this. But, so I have to constantly remind myself, consider that these people have not experienced what you have. They do not know what you know. So, it's kind of like the interdimensionals have a hard time coming down and getting into this lower frequency. And with the density of Earth, it's kind of like that with me. It's like, I see this conversation as a lower frequency, and it is not a positive, conductive topic that,
No, I have to interject because, although Ben says that he's not an experiencer of phenomena.
I didn't say that had anything to do with it.
I said that, yeah. I'm not an experiencer, yeah.
But
I didn't say anything about that.
I've had experience with the phenomena as recent as last year, and I continue to every day without meditating. But this is a fair question coming from an experiencer.
Do you think that I meditate to have my experience?
Between a chemical process and the brain.
Do you think I meditate to have my experience?
Probably not necessarily, but
I do not. No, I do not.
Neither
I know
do
that they're coming. I know they're coming. They tell me they're coming. I prepare myself so that I can have the full face-to-face.
Do you know
fully conscious contact?
Do you know who L. Ron Hubbard is, Nancy?
Yes.
Scientology. He wrote it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know who that is.
So, do you believe in Scientology?
No, I don't follow that thinking. I mean, I don't know everything about it.
So, is L. Ron Hubbard lying?
I'm saying he makes money off what he does, and I don't see that as a pure intent. He may have started out with some great ideas, but it's just like a lot of people, they get the money factor involved. It becomes a business as much as it is anything else. And no, I don't follow that kind of thing.
Do you think he gets upset when people question his abilities?
I think that he has a whole lot of people working under him that never get to him to even have the kind of conversations.
But do you think that
he has followers?
If
he has
somebody
people under him,
if somebody were able to talk to L. Ron Hubbard and they started
asking him, I think he would walk away.
So let me ask you this.
Because he would waste his time on it.
So you think it's a waste of time talking to people that are kind of skeptical of?
I think that there's as many people out here to pull towards the negative side of reality as there are people trying to see our ascension and see the good side of reality.
Is the negative side of reality anybody that doesn't believe what you believe?
No, but it is people that are locked into their belief system and have no openness or willingness to understand that our world around us is changing. We are changing as human beings. If they can't see that, I can't lead a horse to water and make it drink it. You know what I mean?
It's very interesting.
So it's a point where you just have to understand the horse is going to do what the horse wants to do.
It's very interesting.
Not going to drink it.
No, I hear you. It's very interesting that you have the exact same talking points as a priest.
That's really interesting. I've never ever even gone to church, really.
Well, it's fascinating
I don't know what that's like.
They use the same. I'm privy to this.
I never said the word privy.
No,
I
you
never
did.
said that.
No, you
I
used the word privy. Yeah, I'm privy to. You said I'm the enlightened one. I'm the one that's in connection with all of this. You guys are in a lower frequency.
That's version. That's just like what was done with the Bible. You're using your narrative, your perception to create this narrative in your way of thinking.
No, I'm just asking questions because I'm curious, and you got very defensive when we brought up some questions about the chemical makeup of the brain. I didn't. And so I find that fascinating because it's
about chemistry that has nothing to do with any of this.
Well, it does, because when you look at the studies of the human brain, And
okay, who studies? Did you do the study?
No. Much smarter people than me. What's that? Hold on, you cut out.
I can go look at that myself.
Okay.
I can go study that. If that information.
I think you should. I think you should. Yeah.
I don't think so because I don't need to know.
I've looked at the studies. I have a master's in psychology, and I'm
I don't care.
fairly aware of how chemical processes in the brain can cause various altered
The
states.
podcast name was UFO No. That should have indicated to me that no, that should have been an indicator.
Okay, so here's the thing, Nancy. You mentioned earlier that in response to my question about the genetic experimentation piece, you did mention that, hey, these beings don't need to do any types of genetic experimentation because it's already in their repository. But how do you reconcile the many thousands of accounts and case reports where humans were subjected against their will and were subjected to these humiliating genetic experiments?
I already told you that.
Stuff were extracted. How do you take that into account and reconcile that?
Because the facts are human beings are here on free will. That's pretty common knowledge. Human beings, their past lives are erased when we get here. So it's basically you're starting from scratch. In our soul agreements, soul contracts, believe it or not, we all chose to be here on Earth, and we all made agreements on what our soul was to experience while we're here.
They agreed to be subjected to sexual assault. That's obscene.
They were not sexually assaulted.
Like a victim blaming kind of narrative. That's
all right.
That's really dangerous to kind of
promote
the soul contract idea.
No. That is not
it's victim blaming. It's like you signed up to get SA'd by some aliens.
I do not want this to go out to the public. This is ridiculous, and I don't want anything to do with y'all ever again. And I will certainly tell every person not to be on this show because this is ridiculous.
Help me out here. Am I coming from left field, or is this?
Yes, you are.
Ben.
I mean, I think we're asking very honest questions, and
I think you're being very retarded trying to pull a narrative in here that has nothing to do with any of this.
Oh, Nancy, it has been a pleasure. I love you so much. I'm so glad you said retarded.
It was a good question, though. I will agree. What you asked me, but and I would like to explain that to you.
I think we've been very nice. We're asking just honest questions. You got very defensive.
I'll be glad to answer.
Very defensive. Well, I'll be honest with you. I mean, the fact that you called us retarded and that you said we're at a lower frequency, I found it extremely disrespectful. And so I'm going to say this, Nancy. I really appreciate the time, but I think the fact that
it was a waste of mine.
The fact that you're unwilling to even answer just simple questions.
I am answering questions, but you're going on and on about.
We're trying to establish.
That have nothing to do
well, it does.
Anything.
It's
and
chemical.
You're trying to say that because of. That there's some chemical balance in my brain that's causing me to have this, that it's not real. I mean,
I never said that's the cause.
Yes, you did.
Asking
you said
questions.
It could. Like I would know that. Like, am I a chemistry major?
Well, I assume you're an enlightened being, Nancy, that would know exactly what I'm talking about.
Claim to know everything.
I'll tell you what. It's been a very revealing interview, Nancy, and
no, it hasn't.
I wanted to. I look forward to speaking with you. I look forward to picking your brain, and we certainly did that. But I really appreciate it, and we will absolutely put this out because I think it's revealing. And so, anyways, I appreciate the time, and I'm sorry your audio's cutting out. I wish we could have a back and forth.
It's not cutting out. You're just making an excuse.
I'm certainly not. I mean, if you watch the video, you can see what I'm talking about. I will watch.
No, I won't. Well, I don't know. I won't say I won't because I'm going to show it to my sons. I'm going to show it to my groups.
I hope
and
you
I'm going to make sure
like
that
and
they
subscribe,
know,
Nancy. Like and subscribe.
No, I won't be doing that.
I appreciate the time very much. But look, I don't think we're going to accomplish a whole lot here because it seems like you're already very, very upset, and I don't know why. So
I'm not upset. It's a waste of time to talk about things that make no sense. When I'm sitting here, I've already answered this question.
Message of hope and trying to combat against.
I'm telling people that you will have to walk away from some negative aspects of life. You will simply have to walk away. That's why we're having a consciousness shift, is because some people are unwilling to even look at the aspects of the better versions of themselves, an understanding of the reality of the fact that we are ascending, we are changing, our world is changing, and some of us are going to go the more positive way and have to walk away from certain people that we love and care about, but they will not get out of their negative attitudes and ways. They don't want to bend to understand that our world is changing and become better. They want to sit there and argue and bring up things that don't make any sense. So,
these are we're going to have a shift. Questions that people around the world.
Well, and I told you.
A stigma and disinfo campaign.
Yes.
These questions are fair that any rational, critical person would have.
But the good news is that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what y'all say. In our ascension, the gift will be a gift of knowledge, and all these things will become, the truth will be revealed. So I have comfort in knowing that.
I think
what
it sounds
that people were sexually molested and stuff. that truth and information
you said that people sign a contract to be here, and all George is bringing up is that
they're going to remember
sexual
this,
assault victims.
They were actually part of a evolutionary process. They should be proud. They made a decision,
and they're finally sexually abused.
They should be proud that they made an agreement that did not happen to them.
These horrible.
You're making all this stuff up because that's what you think, and you won't listen to what I'm telling you.
But it's incredibly condescending. I am really surprised.
There are moral and ethical questions that come from the notion of a soul contract.
They made an agreement, and in their agreement, they don't remember this. And when they face an interdimensional extraterrestrial being that's at a higher frequency, it is overwhelming, fearful. It is very fearful. And I talked about the fearfulness that blocks every logical thinking out of your mind. They blank you out. They don't even remember the experience because they don't like that frequency exchange. So they come back, and whatever their core belief system, whatever it's in their data back, that's what they use to try to narrate what they've seen. It's just like the Bible. They took it for what it was at the time, at their level of thinking and consciousness. We all have that. We all change as we age. We get wiser. As we go to school, we get smarter. That's just part of life. As we process through these things throughout our life, things become more clear and more understood. And that's one of the gifts that we are going to receive is awareness, intelligence, all these answers. And it will not matter if the government tells us everything we want to hear. It will not matter because we're going to already know it within. We're going to tap into all this information. So in a sense, I think the government pretty much knows what I know. So there's no point in them coming out here and putting the president up there and freaking people out when they already know what I know. People are going to understand this stuff anyway, and it will not matter what they say because all truths will be known. So that's the point of it all, is that it's all the information is inside us. We need to quit looking outside the box. We need to stop believing everything we've been told or said. And you've already mentioned that we've been suppressed and information we've been lied to. So is some of this other stuff, these stories about rapes and all these different things that occurred during what they call an abduction. It actually wasn't, but those truths are going to be.
So those are all lies.
How do you know this? How do you know, Nancy, that this positive messaging of enlightenment, spiritual ascension, how do you know that is actually the truth? Or it could be some form of manipulation from these higher dimensional entities in order to placate people into this love and light message to lower their defenses.
Here's how I know. Here's how I know. They tell me, be patient. And I knew that I would get asked questions like this. And I knew it would make me uncomfortable. And sometimes I handle it better than other times. I had a flu shot and a COVID shot today, and I'm not feeling good. But anyway, that doesn't matter. But the point is that they tell me, be patient. Let evolution run its course. It is a divine plan that was spent billions of years in preparation, getting all this ready for this point in time to occur, and for us to bridge the gap between two dimensions and bridge the gap between a negative realm that we've been in for eons and moving more towards a more positive realm. And there's going to be lots of conflicts, lots of shifts in consciousness. So they tell me, be patient. Just let people figure it out on their own. So, I don't care if y'all believe or anybody believes.
Well, clearly you do when we're asking you the motivations of your...
I feel like you are attacking me, saying that my experiences were of a chemical imbalance or something.
We were simply asking. Yeah. But look, here's what I'm going to do, Nancy. I don't like to be disrespected on my own show, and that's exactly what you did. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to offer... No, not at all. Not at all.
Well, that's the way I say it.
Well, that's not at all what happened. But anyways, I am going to invite you to plug all your stuff. Tell everybody where they can find your work. I have your website. I'm going to pull it up right now, and so people can see it. And so it is timefordisclosure.com. Nancy Thames, and she's got all of her work. Thames, I apologize. And so you can find all her different stories. Her daughter's even got a book about business, I believe, that you can go and check out. So I encourage you to go and find this and look into this topic for yourself. I'm not convinced. But that is my own conclusion.
It is a stepdaughter, but I think they did put daughter on there.
It does say daughter, but either way, I'm not convinced. But I appreciate your time, and I certainly did not mean any disrespect. We were simply asking questions.
Why did you bring up the book?
What's that?
Because that has nothing to do with any of this anyway. It's just another plug-in. It's just another plug-in you're trying to throw in there to be negative.
What are you talking about?
You probably don't even
realize.
realize.
That's disrespectful.
What are you talking about?
That's not disrespectful at all.
I agree.
I
agree.
All right. Bye, Nancy. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Well.